What is emotional intelligence? To counter the fear-inducing influence of most medias, we need critical thinking and empathy for strangers, but that in turn necessitates something that most of us lack. Emotional intelligence. So what's that fancy term? Nothing more than the ability to perceive, interpret, and successfully manage one's emotions, which leads to healthier decision-making, based on facts, rather than fears and myths. Emotions and logic have shaped human thinking since the earliest days of civilization. They help us decide and survive. Even though it's not completely true to say that feelings get in the way of clear thinking, philosophers, psychologists, and writers have argued that emotions and reason can be at odds with each other. Especially since the Enlightenment in the 17th and 18th centuries, we've come to value reason over emotions, traditions, and religious dogma. The praise of scientific progress and rationality often led to the view that emotions were irrational or inhibited reason. However, current research in psychology and neuroscience has revealed that emotions and thought are inextricably intertwined. Emotions convey important insights that assist us in making choices, and even rational decisions are frequently influenced by emotions. For example, neuroscientist Antonio Damasio studied people who had damage to areas of their brain that control emotions, and found that they had difficulty making judgments. This suggests that emotions play an important part in decision-making. Instead of seeing emotions as a hindrance to clear thinking, it may be more accurate and helpful to look at them as a complex and vital part of how people think. Emotional intelligence is important and should be trained like muscles or intellect. The struggle to balance emotion and reason is part of being human, and daily practice can improve it like any other skill. Neurological disorders, brain injuries, and other physical ailments can affect emotional processing and regulation, but those are rare. Upbringing and environment matter the most. Emotional intelligence may be difficult for children raised in environments where emotional expression was discouraged or punished, or where caregivers did not model healthy emotional regulation. Similarly, those who grew up in highly stressful or unstable environments may also have difficulty managing emotions. Mental health conditions such as depression, anxiety, personality disorders, or conditions associated with emotional dysregulation like ADD, can also affect emotional intelligence, but these illnesses are often the result of childhood trauma or stressful environments. Modern life is complex, and with its constant deadlines, high expectations, and increasing workloads, it inevitably causes chronic stress. Overstimulation is another issue. Today's constant access to information and communication makes it hard to focus on the present. More importantly, we must learn to filter information and decide what to keep and what to discard. Even if we succeed, we must now understand the complexity of a globalized world that has never been so interconnected. All these factors reduce the time available for self-care, reflection, and personal growth, even though they are essential for emotional well-being and self-awareness. Facial expressions, tone, eye contact, body language, and touch are absent from digital communication. Like an administration will tend to reduce people's lives to data, numbers, and statistics, the absence of these interactions can make it much harder to accurately perceive and interpret others' emotions. Large cities make people anonymous, and by the same, more fearful of one another, which increases isolation and disconnection. Despite being more connected than ever, many people lack meaningful social interactions and rich emotional lives. This is why we love shows and movies where characters are more honest and admit their mistakes, desires, and traumas. So modern life can indeed lower emotional intelligence, but this doesn't have to be a permanent condition. Being aware of them can help mitigate these challenges by setting boundaries for work and digital communication, practicing stress management, making time for self-care and reflection, and seeking meaningful social interactions by challenging one's comfort zone and valuing interdependence instead of glorifying independence at all cost. Despite the challenges of the modern world, emotional intelligence remains a crucial skill that can be developed and nurtured with practice and patience, so my advice more than ever is to talk to each other, be authentic, and communicate even your flaws and weaknesses, because once we erect those protective walls, we are doomed to loneliness and fear. Today's recommended author is psychiatrist Gabor Mate, an addiction, stress and childhood development expert. Based on Dr. Mate's 4 decades of clinical experience, and holistic approach to human well-being. His book, The Myth of Normal, is a gem that offers a compassionate guide to health and healing. It links individual illnesses to society's declining soundness, and calls for a radical change in culture and healthcare. Thank you for watching.